something may be going on. If you know that in your family, don't blame witches and wizards, please.
Sometimes they cause that too, right?
Oh, come on, man. They don't do anything. We are going to talk about the numbers. Now, the caveat we want to say here is that these are typical numbers. These are numbers that we believe are representative of most of the institutions out there from the American Heart Association. So total cholesterol is the total sum of all your cholesterols. The sum of all your cholesterols.
So the LDL, the HDL, and we have some few other ones that is in there, but most of the time we don't pay attention to it because the numbers are so low that it becomes very insignificant. So we are going to dwell more on the high ones, the one that we really need to know.
Which are the HDL, the LDL,
and the triglycerides.
And the total cholesterol itself too. So when we say total cholesterol, it means that the sum of all the cholesterols that can be measured. So keep that in mind. Now, it is important to note that to quote or to basically predict your heart disease or your stroke risk, your doctors may look at this number and then the LDL itself and the HDL itself. But you understand as you move forward. So just stick to the stream, don't leave, watch it to the end, and it will make more sense as you move forward. All right. So the desirable level for your total cholesterol is less than 200. Simple as that. Less than 200 or less than 5.18, basically. And then if you're borderline high, then it's going to be over 200 to 239. So if you went for a lab and the doctor told you your total cholesterol number, it's going to be around these ones we have. If you see that less than 200 or less than 5 or more than 200. And the borderline high is if it is between 200 and 239. And then high is when it is 240 or more. 240 or more, then your total cholesterol is very high.
So like sometimes your doctors are a little particular about the borderline. So it means that you are not there yet. You are at the point that you are going to get to maybe the risky part. So they tell you you are a borderline risk. So you have to pay attention to your diet and your exercise and all the things that go into getting your cholesterol right. So if they tell you a borderline, you are not there yet. You still have chance to go back to the desirable level instead of falling over to the high levels.
All right. So borderline is still manageable. In fact, even higher line is still, if you're even in a high, we don't want you to give up. Basically, just make sure that you follow and continue to watch because we're going to show you how to get these numbers down in subsequent shows. Naturally, not with medications. All right. And the next one is the LDL cholesterol. And if you want to read that.
Yeah, so the LDL, which is bad cholesterol, the normal range is less than 100. Milligram per deciliter, right? So any number below 100, you are in the normal range. And it becomes abnormal range when it's higher than 100, but it's still within under 129. So between 100 and 129 you are in the abnormal range, right? And I think it continue by saying that if it's less than 130 and your risk is moderate, then it's okay for your numbers to be less than 130. So here, I think the most important point we want you to take from here is everybody's number may be different based on their risk level. And I think we will go over the risk factors, right? So some people are considered moderate risk, meaning that they may not be diabetic. They may not have high blood cholesterol, high blood pressure, and they may be in optimal weight range, so that their risk is called moderate. So if you are in that category, then the doctor may say that even if you're up to 130, If it's less than 130, it's okay, right? But people in the higher risk level, people that are diabetic, people that are smokers, people that are obese, meaning that they have risk factors. In that case, then the doctor may try and get your level less than 100. And the very high risk people are people that already have high heart diseases. You know, they are diabetic, they are obese, they have heart issue, they have murmurs, arrhythmia, a lot of heart diseases going on. Then the doctor may try and bring it down below 70. So depending on where you are in your health, your numbers may be okay to be there. And depending on where you are in your health, the doctors may try to bring down the level of the LDL, because that's the bad cholesterol. That if it's too much, like we mentioned, it's likely that it's going to cause a lot of problem. It's going to lead you to heart attack and stroke easily because of your condition.
All right, all right. So that is, I think she couldn't explain it any better than that. That is it. Your risk will depend on your goal, I should say, the goal set by your doctor or your practitioner. It could be an APR and whoever is taking care of you. Your goal will be set based on your risk. Now, since we mentioned that, let's throw in the heart disease risk factors right now so that we'll get it out of the way. So we know that if you're a smoker, you are at a higher risk for cardiovascular events or heart or stroke attacks if you smoke. It's not me, it's scientific, it's proven. Also, if you are obese or you are overweight, I mean, overweight is getting there, but obese is even the serious one. If your weight is beyond what it's normal, to the point where you have gone over being overweight, now you are obese, you also have a higher risk for heart disease and stroke. And I said smoking, right? And if you also have some comorbid conditions or some diseases, in particular, if you are diabetic, your chance of also getting certain diseases like heart issues and stroke issues are also increased. So you are at a high risk. And there could be more.
Blood pressure.
Your blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, you have also an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. So if you have any one of these or multiples of these, and also if you have had a heart event or you have had stroke before, maybe not a full-blown stroke, but maybe a TIA, what we call transient ischemic attack, then you are also considered high risk for a stroke or heart attack. So any one of these disease conditions can make your doctor say that, hey, your LDL must come down to less than 70, while somebody is okay to live at less than 130. So it's not that your doctor is picking on you. They're not picking on you, my goodness. Yeah. It's not that your doctor is picking on you. It's not that they want you to stop eating all the good stuff because they don't like you. No, it is because of your risk, your comorbid conditions and your risk of, having issues if you don't take serious attention to your cholesterol, especially your LDL cholesterol. That is why your goal may be different. So goals are usually set per your risk. And then also sometimes even per your age, sometimes but family history will also play a role. If you're in a family where younger people have died out of a heart attack or stroke, your doctor may be more stringent. They may tell you that, hey, your goal is going to be less than 70. Your goal is going to be less than this, all because of the family history, because they know that genetically you are predisposed to having certain diseases. And so they will treat it that way. And so that is why the numbers may be different for different risk groups. So with that out of the way, unless you want to add anything.
Yeah, sometimes too, some people don't really know much about their family history, but they know that people from that family die very early. Maybe sometimes there is no diagnosis for them to know. Now that we have a lot of information out there, you can just ask questions and see what was the cause of the death. Maybe we have maybe a family that by the age of 50, they get heart attack. For all that you know.
Stroke.
Yeah, or stroke. Yeah. And we said that, so it's produced in the liver. So maybe genetically, you tend to produce more cholesterol. So if you're producing more of the cholesterol, it's nothing of your doing. It's just your genetic makeup. So it's something that you have to pay attention. You can let the doctors know so that they'll be more aggressive when they are trying to bring down the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol that can lead to stroke and heart attacks.
My goodness. That is good. And I want to throw in this. We were talking last, when we were talking about habits, some people from some places, they always blame demons and spirits because for their family. And we even have songs in those cultures where say that as for us in this family, everybody dies at 40, everybody dies at 50. It is not spiritual. It is genetic makeup. Something may be going on. So like she said, that's a very important point. If you know that in your family, don't blame witches and wizards, please.
Sometimes they cause that too, right?
Oh, come on, man. They don't do anything. Well, I mean, they may be there. But for the most, even if they do that, they do it through high cholesterol. Right? Yeah. So the young folks that are getting stroke in your family and getting, the people dropping dead, like, that's why our family is so hard. Everybody, if you try to be rich, if you try to do this, they will kill you. Nobody's killing you. It's the cholesterol. Somebody has to investigate something that is wrong genetically and make sure that you don't fall victim to that. Staying away from people because people died young in your family does not protect you. What protects you is to find out what was killing them and then see if you can protect yourself. And cholesterol, as we said last time, is a silent killer. And so younger people, especially because of our diabetes, are passing away, and people are just saying that gone too soon. We make, flyers, and it's like, oh, this family, oh, poor wife, oh, poor. Yeah. If we don't check up and watch our diet and do all the good stuff to, know our numbers, basically, anything can happen to you. So please watch those things and don't blame people and families for attacking any young people. Next one that we want to talk about is the good stuff. My goodness. A good guy was hiding in plain sight. The HDL cholesterol. Too much about the bad news. The good news is that HDL cholesterol is the good cholesterol, as we have said over and over. The normal range for that is women should be 50 milligrams per dl or higher, or 1.29 millimoles per liter or higher. And then for men, it should be 40 or 1.04 or higher.
So it becomes abnormal for women if your numbers are less than 50. And it becomes abnormal for men if your number is less than 40. So we have to know our numbers.
All right. Yes. Yeah. And I think that's what you just said. So now with that out of the way, I'll have Gifty talk about the triglycerides a little bit, and then we will move on. Yeah.
So for the triglycerides, normal range, it should be less than 150, abnormal 150 to 199. That's the borderline. And I think I elaborated on the borderline. You are not there yet. You are right at the border. Then it becomes too high if it's more than 200 or higher.
All right. And again, high triglycerides can be a risk factor for heart diseases and stroke. So not just the LDL, but if your triglycerides are high, you are at a risk or higher or increased risk for heart disease and stroke. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Even if you're watching on Facebook, go to the YouTube also and subscribe, or hit the like or the thumbs up and share with your folks. All right. Okay. So with that out of the way, we finish the numbers. We say, Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed.